Samsung Fascinate Review. The first time you pick up the Samsung Fascinate, you won't believe how light the device feels. Weighing in at a mere 116 grams, you actually question if you have anything in your hands at all. A quick look at the measurements: 125 by 64 times 10.5 millimeters, and you begin to understand why. Like other Samsung devices, it is primarily plastic right down to the chrome bevel around the sides. Don't let that scare you, as the plastic is strong and should withstand a drop or two. Although I don't recommend trying it. The front of the phone has a 4 Super AMOLED screen running at 480 by 800 resolution. If you have never seen a Super AMOLED display, it can best be described by using highly technical terms such as wow. Samsung has mastered the art of creating beautiful displays, and this version is no different. Like other Super AMOLED screens, you can view the screen in direct sunlight, making use outdoors much more pleasing. Spending more time on the screen is pointless because it could simply be summed up as fantastic. Need I say more? Diving a little deeper into the specs, we discovered the power under the hood. In the case of the Fascinate, we are looking at a 1 GHz Hummingbird processor, which has plenty of power to make using your phone a pleasure. Also worth mentioning, a powerhouse for multimedia, which we will cover later. The Fascinate isn't going to be the fastest phone on the market, but it will handle almost anything you throw at it with ease. Combine the snappy CPU with ample RAM, advertised as 512 megabytes, and you have yourself a powerful phone. Store a lot of media on your phones. If your answer was yes, then you will be happy to hear that the Fascinate comes preloaded with 16 gigabytes. And is upgradable up to 32 gigabytes using removable SD card slot located under the back cover. With plenty of space, you can sync as much music and movies as your ears and eyes can handle. Not being a fan of SD cards under the back cover, I didn't mind the Fascinate, as it was easy to remove the back and replace the card as needed. In the future, I would like to see more and more phones allowing side access to SD cards, but that is just wishful thinking at this point. When it comes to storage, the Fascinate wasn't stingy like many other models that include a mere 2 gigabytes minus 4 gigabytes. If they give us 4 gigabytes, we want 8 gigabytes. We get 8 gigabytes, we want 16 GB. This is just how consumers' minds work. It is fair to say that 16 gigabytes is plenty of space for almost all power users, so let's just leave it at that. Battery life is an important factor to any smartphone. A great phone can easily be written off if the battery doesn't last at least 1 day under normal conditions. Packed in the back of the Fascinate is a lovely 1500 mAh battery which handles the job well. Putting the phone through above average use, it lasted 3/4 of the day, as would be expected. During normal usage, it easily made it through the day, typically begging for a charge around 11 AM. You may not get 2 days out of it, but there aren't many phones with this size screen that can pull that off these days. With the now standard micro USB interface, most of us have it plugged in while at a desk, so it isn't that big of a deal. Stepping away from the specs for a moment, let's talk about the design of the device. Screen size is everything these days, and the Fascinate has that perfect number. Not too small, yet not too big. The magical 4 inches. Touch, being the main way to interact with the device, needs to be comfortable. The Fascinate has a beveled edge around the corners which some love and others hate. Me being somewhere in the middle. Having a bevel could make it easier to navigate due to having a reference point, but that is a long shot. The bottom of the phone contains 4 buttons: menu, home, back, And last but not least, the dedicated search button. The top contains a speaker as well as a proximity sensor that turns the screen off as you bring it closer to your face. The right side of the phone contains a single power wake button near the top right corner. If you are used to HTC phones, it feels a bit awkward at first having the power button on the right side of the phone, but the longer you use it, the more comfortable it becomes. The button has a nice feel to it, allowing easy pressing to wake or power your phone. Not sensitive enough to cause accidental pocket presses, yet not so hard that you have to mash with all your might to get the phone to wake up either. If you are expecting the next button to be a dedicated camera shutter button, you will be sadly mistaken, as the Fascinate has no such button. For some this may be the deciding factor, but the majority of users won't even realize it isn't there. Moving to the left side of the phone, we have a single volume rocker at the top corner. Pressing up increases your ring of volume, or if using a media player, the media volume. Pressing down obviously does the opposite by lowering the volume. Both sides are smooth to the touch, making the device comfortable to hold for long periods of time. The top contains a 3.5mm headphone jack as well as a micro USB charger interface. Like other Samsung devices on the market, the USB interface has a slide-out protective cover which keeps your USB input clean from debris, assuming you remember to shut it before throwing it in your pocket. The back of the phone is made of a thin plastic which is designed to look like carbon fiber. Don't let the thin appearance fool you. The plastic is rather sturdy and provides decent protection for your phone. My only gripe about the material is due to the clear coat and pattern used. Scratches, as well as fingerprints, can be seen almost immediately after use. On our review unit, there were scratches that had accumulated from normal daily use. Depending on the price you pay for the phone, this could be rather discouraging. The sides and front glass display showed no signs of scratches, holding up to normal daily usage without problems. The overall design of the phone is attractive, although I feel some higher quality material could have been used to prevent some issues with scratching, especially the back cover. If you like a thin, lightweight phone, you will love the Fascinate's design. With its sleek design, it will fit in almost everybody's hand comfortably. On the other hand, if you like a phone that feels like it could be dropped out of a moving car and survive, this phone will feel like a toy to you. MP camera with LED flash. Most phones in this price range now contain a 5.0 MP camera and perform well by most standards. The Fascinate doesn't have the best optics by a long shot, but does manage to snap some decent pictures thanks to the great software included. For those that have used the stock Android camera application, you know how much it leaves to be desired. Luckily, Samsung agrees and offers a much better experience with the software. The features that stand out are the touch to focus, face detection, and fast autofocus. You should be able to capture most anything you need with decent results, given it isn't moving quickly past the lens. The LED flash works, but with my test was nothing to write home about. I wouldn't count on getting any high-quality shots more than 3 feet away with the flash. If you have used a Nokia N8, you may scoff at this camera, but honestly it isn't bad at all. I didn't love it, but felt it was more than adequate for all of my needs. The software make it easy to use and provide lots of great features to make even the most demanding mobile photographers happy. Plan on filming that next big family event, because the Fascinate supports 720p video recording at 30 fps. While it had problems with shooting in low light, it handled everything else I threw at it with ease. It may not replace your standalone camcorder, but it will make great videos for those moments you don't want to miss. The interface being identical to the camera is a breeze to use and provides many settings that will keep you busy for a long while. As I mentioned previously, there is no dedicated shutter button on this device. In my experience, I find it difficult to hold the phone steady if I have to press the screen to capture media. Applying the force forward instead of down causes my hand to shake, often resulting in a picture with severe motion blur. This is obviously personal preference, but I would have liked that dedicated key to give the true camera feel. Your mileage may vary. Thanks for watching. Subscribe this channel for future updates.